What is up, you beautiful people? Teacher Willie here for one more live in English, being joined right now by my little sister, even though she bullies me as if she were my big sister. Let's welcome her in. This is Teacher Jillian. I was going to have you do the intro, but you're late. So
this is the Julie Willy Show. There you go.
That's nice. That's good. I forgot that you can sing. We haven't sung. Well, I know, but that
made up.
That noise that you just made. That noise that you just made reminded me.
Singing.
It reminded me that you can sing, even though you didn't just sing, because that was just some assorted noises coming out of your mouth.
But that'd feel awkward.
It would be awkward. You're not. I don't think you're to that point yet. This is only your second video, so you can't. You got baby steps. So welcome to the Jilly Willies Show. This is a new feature on the Aces English channel. This channel is where we help you to give yourself a boost in your English, and now we're going to be doing
positivity.
And your positivity. Can you not? This is my monologue. This is a monologue. You know what monologue means? It means mono, meaning one. It means one person talks. I will point to you when you are allowed to speak. Can we do that?
Whose name is first?
You made me put your name first. That's not fair.
Right. That's because I get to talk first.
I'm older.
I will mute you if need be.
Yeah, you can. I don't think you can. I hope you can't, because you would. You would use it.
I'll figure out a way.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, so usually on this channel we do our lives in Portuguese. So if you're a Portuguese English language learner, make sure that you check out our over 650 videos with tips and tricks and lessons and classes and all kinds of stuff to help you give your English a boost. But tonight, and hopefully many times in the future, we have Jillian Wilson with us. Thanks for being here.
You're so lucky.
Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, there was something on my camera.
That's not about you. That's about your camera.
So my phone face is not the cleanest, even though I clean it every time I use it. That's something about me.
I think it's still about the phone.
Okay, so I like the color pink.
Did you put that up for us?
No, there's some things back there. It's mysterious. That's where I had the bodies, so I had to cover it.
Did you put a backdrop for us?
That was for me, for my privacy. Nobody needs to know who I've killed.
It's true. It's probably better that way.
Yeah.
I had always, I'd always wondered, but thank you for confirming that. Now if the police ask me, now I have to say
myth
that,
busted.
Yes, I'm just going to plead the fifth.
There's no police. There never has been, and there never will be.
Because you hid the body so well.
I did. See? You can't see him, can you?
Right there you go. No one's ever going to find him back there.
Nobody knows.
Because your son's never going to be in the back seat, for heaven's sakes. Uh-oh, she froze. All right, while we're waiting for her to come back, she'll probably have to leave and come back. Let's get to some questions. Good evening to Vitor. Thanks for coming back. Vitor, thanks for being here again. And my question for today is, would you use a comma before the word because? Why or why not? I appreciate it. So this is something I will cover when Jillian's back. Hopefully Jillian will be back. And I'll talk about it. Actually, I had to look it up because the way that I've always done it, the way that I learned, apparently is not what the grammarians say is the right way. So I will tell you the right way. And Jillian's gone. So hopefully she'll be right back, be able to come right back in. And Thiago's here. Thiago is always up to get on the show. So I told him last night when we did our test that I would have him come in and talk directly with my sister. So if she's able to get back in, we will do that. And Ilma is back. Good evening, Ilma. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. Wilson's back as well. Ironically, Wilson, my last name and Jillian's last name is Wilson. Isn't that interesting? It's the Wilson trio. What do you know? So let's get, it looks like it's going to take a little bit longer than I expected. So let's get to Victor's question. If I would use a comma before because. Now, before I looked this up like 15 minutes ago, I almost always used a comma before because. However, let me share my screen here. What did I find? Actually, I need to do this. Let me, oops, I don't want to do that now. Okay, so I need to change this to this. Here we go. Now I'm going to share my screen. And away we go. So let's look at, this is Grammarly, the Grammarly blog. Grammarly, most of you have probably seen Grammarly. They are paying lots of money for advertising. I see them all over the place when I'm on YouTube or on other sites. Maybe it's just because I'm involved in so many English things that they've been bombarding me with ads. But so let's look at, when do you use a comma before because? Most of the time, you should not use a comma before because when it connects two clauses in a sentence. Because is a subordinated conjunction, which means that it connects a subordinate clause to an independent clause. Good style dictates that there should be no comma between these two clauses. An exception can and should be made when the lack of a comma would cause ambiguity. So what does this mean? Basically, let's talk about in layman's terms. Let's talk about in normal people talk. What does this mean? It means you shouldn't usually use a comma before because in almost every situation. Okay, so if you're in doubt about whether you should put a comma before because or not, don't do it. Basically, if in doubt, don't do it. And they say that the exception is if it causes, if with not putting a comma makes it so that it is more difficult to understand the meaning that the person wants to give the sentence. So if you have doubt about the meaning of the sentence, then you want to use it. If there's no doubt about the meaning, if it's clear without a comma, then generally you're not going to use the comma. And like I said, it's not a huge deal because I always got A's on my papers in English in high school and college. So, and I've always put like 90% of the time I have put commas before because. So I wouldn't worry too much about it, but it is something that in the future, especially those of you that are going to do IELTS or TOEFL or any other standardized English level tests, you'll probably want to keep that in mind. And where are we now? Katya's here. Good evening, Katya. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Andre, good evening. Teacher Willie, who's your friend? That is my sister, and she's also my friend. She's my sister, Jillian. She is a new English teacher. She is in the process of becoming TESOL certified, teaching English to students of other languages. And I got her first student, Glassy, who is often here in the chat with us. So I'm very excited. I'm helping her out. She's awesome. She's an awesome person and will be an awesome teacher. I have no doubt. She's starting now and she's having some problems with her phone. She actually drove away from her house so that she could get some quiet away from the dogs and her son. But it looks like she's having problems connecting. She might actually be driving back home. We'll have to see. What's the difference between issue and problem? Issue is a little bit more formal. Other than that, and actually, I just got done doing interpreting. Actually, I just got done doing a 3-hour interpreting gig, and in my research and everything, every time that we have the word issue, we translate it the same way as we translate problem. So I would say, "Oh, you're so small. I forgot to change." You're tiny. I forgot to change it back. There we go. Now you're normal sized.
Hi.
Hello again. Thanks for joining us.
I forgot that I need to buy my router, my wireless router.
Ah.
So now I'm in my driveway.
Okay, that works.
Hopefully,
somebody asked,
hopefully it works.
Somebody asked, who's your friend?
Ooh.
And I said, she's not my friend.
Daughter.
Shut up. Now you're really not my friend. Okay, good evening. Wes is back.
Hi, Wes.
Dogman Wes is back in the house.
Dogman.
I had read the article before, but your explanation was on point. It's clear now. Thanks again. I had to waste time while you were here, so I answered some questions.
I sped too.
So let's see. What can we talk about today that we didn't talk about yesterday, as people are asking more questions? What interested you in teaching English? What is it that drove you in that direction, other than your big brother and wanting to be like him?
Right. Always that first. I have always liked writing and have always enjoyed that.
That's right.
You remember now.
You know what we could do?
Me.
You know what we could do?
No, I'm not writing short stories.
No, yes, you are. Someday you will. No, but we could self-publish your book, because once you get famous on my channel, people are going to want to buy your book. Guys, she's written 2 books. She's written 2 books. Ask her for her book every chance you get. She won't release it to you unless you ask like a million times and offer to pay and
be related to me.
And be related to me.
Good luck with that.
She's kind of shy about her book. All right.
Yeah.
We need to write a book together is what we need to do.
That would be cool.
Well, you don't want to write short stories, but you'll write a book?
I write books. I can't write short stories. I don't know
I
how
write
to make
short
it
stories.
Short.
I write short stories. So you give me your book, and I'll make 100 short stories out of your book. That's what we'll do.
There we go. I actually want to turn it into a graphic novel. So
that would actually be very cool, because the story would be very conducive to that.
Right?
That's a great idea.
Thanks. That's all mine.
So yeah, I have.
What brought me into teaching English?
Oh yeah.
Let's finish that. Yeah.
Okay.
So once I started school, I loved English, and
once you started school, like when you were 4?
I was 6. Thanks. As soon as I learned how to write full sentences and paragraphs, there we go. I usually say as soon as I was able to write with a pencil, but that's probably a little exaggeration.
There's a saying in Portuguese that's pretty good here, and I'm going to translate it. It's not going to make any sense, but I'm going to do it anyway. As soon as I knew myself as a person, or as soon as I knew that I was a person, I liked whatever.
Okay, cool. How do you say that? Like say it in Portuguese.
My brain is so fried because I just did 3 hours of interpreting. But
how'd that go?
No, it was horrible. Somebody in the chat, Victor, help us out. I don't want to say it wrong and have all my friends like Victor laugh at me. Victor and West,
they're gonna laugh
and
anyway.
Thiago, they're gonna laugh anyway. I hope, but I want to make them laugh. I don't want them laughing at me. I want them laughing with me. Is the difference? That's how I want that to go. That's how the plan.
A little bit of a difference.
Assim que eu conheci por gente. I think that's what it is.
Por gente.
Como gente. I have my new teeth are a little bit longer now, so I'm still learning how to talk. I'm serious though.
Too.
No, look at these. Look at these babies.
You're a little long in the tooth, eh?
So let's tell the good people what long in the tooth means before they all leave.
I believe that means that you're getting up in years in your age.
Is that it? I don't think so. I think doesn't it mean you're
ugly? Or
is it
you're
I thought it was you're ugly.
I don't think so. I think it means you're either getting old, long in the tooth, or lying. I don't know.
Yes, you're too old. Nicely done, teacher.
Oh, I did it.
Well done.
Speaking English longer than you.
No, you haven't. You're a freaking liar.
10
But that was
years you've been in
safe.
Brazil, barely speaking.
Yeah, you got me there. You had. I don't know,
Except
but
for you speak English all the
if we
time
were
for your job.
no, I don't actually. That's the problem. I probably speak more Portuguese in my job than I speak English.
Ah, yes.
And now at home, I speak more Portuguese too. So if we averaged it out, I think we're even. I think I might be like 5 minutes ahead of you.
Okay, you win again.
That's a switch. Not. Okay, let's see. Desde que eu me conheço por gente. I think that's what I said, or something similar. I think that's the expression you're looking for. So do I.
It all sounds the same to me, so.
Desde que me entendo por gente. People also say it that way too. Okay, so they say it two different ways. I hope the way that I said it was one of those. If not, then I'm wrong. Okay, so you liked writing. Tell us about how you transitioned from writer to, or going through the transition of going from writer to English teacher.
Well, I was a kindergarten special ed assistant. So
Okay,
I
say that
taught
again. It cut out on me.
Okay.
Can you say that again? A kindergarten what?
special ed assistant.
Okay.
So I helped teach the kids that were behind, like kids that didn't even know how to spell their name. One kid was named Sebastian, and I felt really bad for him. Like, you are never going to learn the spelling of your name.
Oh,
Like,
that's
you
true.
couldn't, but he didn't even know what the letters were. So, like, we were starting from scratch with most of these kids.
He was 5 years old, 4, 5, 5, 6?
Yeah,
Somewhere
6.
in there. Okay. 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
But his
So these are, just to make it
mother
clear,
tongue wasn't English, so
special ed is special needs students. Okay, just to make that clear. I think that nowadays they call them special needs. I don't know, maybe
they do here.
Okay,
I don't know there.
No, here it's in Portuguese, so yeah, they don't call them special needs. Okay, so you helped. So how did that? How did that? I almost said in Portuguese we say stimulate, but that sounds weird in English. How did that stimulate you? So how did that encourage you? That experience encouraged you to go into and that was after you had started writing, right?
Yeah, I was about 25, 27. That's how.
And now you're, how old are you now?
27.
There we go. Okay, good. Just wanted to make that clear. I just wanted to see if you would say it, actually. I
online, yeah, that's happening.
Respect. I respect you. I respect that you didn't say it. I mean that you told us your actual age, which is 27. I mean, that's what I meant to say.
Right. I've had several 27 birthdays, so
yes. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Okay, maybe not several, a few.
That's why you're wrinkle free, because you just keep turning 27.
No, this is the benefit of makeup.
Oh, maybe I should try that.
Makeup and hair.
Anyway, so makeup and hair, that's the difference between the two of us, apparently. That's worse for you than for me. I'm ecstatic that I look like you or that you look like me with makeup and hair. That's fantastic. So how did that encourage you? I don't even know if you answered the question and all of that.
I don't know either. So I really enjoyed it. I loved helping the kids and seeing their progress, however slow it was. It was really fun to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And moving on to teaching English to foreign exchange students. I mean, it was, or foreign language speaking students. Yeah. It's basically the same because most of the kids I had only spoke Spanish. So I barely know any Spanish. Un poquito.
Good. Good. Nicely done.
Is it? I don't even know.
Bien.
Yeah, I learned that at 13. That's pretty much all I know. So,
do you know how to say bull in Spanish? That's the question.
Bolo.
Bulo. No, I'm sure that's correct.
Boyo.
Okay, keep going. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have interrupted you.
It's all right. I'm used to it. You do it all the time. Every time you ask me a question, you have a hard time.
Can you please answer the question?
So I figured I could access more. Oh my gosh. Stop. Let me talk. Okay, I felt like I could access more students. And also stay at home and do it. It's a lot safer than going to a school right now where they're closed for summer anyway. But
True. Yeah. Yeah. They were closed and then closed for summer.
Mhm.
That's right. Because it ends in June there, right? Classes end in June.
May here.
Oh, May. Wow.
Yeah.
I want to be a teacher there. But when did they
Yeah,
start? Did they start in August, like the beginning of August then? Or
Yes. Beginning
Dang.
of August, end of May, right on or before my birthday. So I get to celebrate having my son with me all day long. That's my birthday gift from the school.
Oh, goodness.
I love my
Fantastic.
son, everyone. I love my son, but he is a challenge.
Yes. Okay.
Right?
Double D's
Hello,
back.
David. You're
Double
back.
D. He is back for more. Let's see. I have to take off my glasses because the glare, and I can't get close enough to read.
Okay, so Jillian, are you into sports? If so, what are your favorite teams? If not, why aren't you interested? Given how everyone in the US is. Not everyone in the US is, by the way. Only fanatics like my brother.
Where was that question? I didn't even see that question.
It just got deleted somehow. So I
Okay,
didn't
so
even
we'll
get to
get
finish
back to it. I had to go backwards, so we'll get to it. But let's go in
Oh.
order. Let's go this next one. Can you read it for us, please? I feel like I'm in
Hello,
class.
good evening, everybody. Today I have a question for you. I would like to know your answer and know if I am using the if conditional in the right way.
I would like to know your answer and know if I'm using the if conditional. Oh, so I guess he's gonna. Oh, here's the next one.
The question
Here-
is,
I was like, I think so. You
was that the
probably
question?
are. I mean, there's a
If you
good
had,
chance.
shh, let me read it.
All
If you
right.
had won the lottery, would you still be an English teacher? I think I would like pick and choose who I taught, right? If you have all the money in the world, you're gonna teach the ones you actually like to teach. I mean, we love all of our students the same, just
Not the
differently.
same. Closely, it's close, but it's not the same. It's just like parents.
So is that the question
That-
with the if
no.
use?
Yeah, so I think he was going to ask this question. It was like, is that correct? So yeah, this construction is correct. So
Yeah, looks good. And I answered it for you. You're welcome.
wait, hold on a second. Let's look at this again. If you
Oh, no.
had won the lottery, would you still be an English teacher? Yeah, that's right. That's good.
Yeah,
We're good.
perfect.
All right. Fantastical.
Well done.
And there's double D again. All right, here we
Okay,
go.
there you go. You want to read again?
Go ahead.
Okay,
Because I
Jillian,
didn't hear it.
are you into sports? If so, what are your favorite teams? If not, why aren't you interested in it given its popularity across the US? I love to play volleyball. I love to watch volleyball. I do not favor a team except for maybe the University of Utah, just because that's the school I went to. Are
That's
my
it?
answers too short?
No, but
I
I
mean-
thought you were going to go back into the fanatics and me and all
Oh
that
yeah,
kind of-
and so there are fanatics out there. So it makes it seem like the US is like gung ho sports, and there are a lot of fans, but there are a lot that don't care.
Yeah.
And living with a fanatic my entire life. Ooh, it's backwards. I can't point that way.
Here. Point. Can you see where I'm at?
There we go.
Put your thumb up above your head, and point to me. This is gonna be fun. Oops, I gotta go this way. Hey, no, up
I'm doing
above your
this.
head. Above
I'm
your
doing
head.
this. I'm not.
Okay, then do it. Go. Oh, she froze again. Dang it. That was gonna be fun. Oh well. Oh, and she's in her driveway now, so I don't know what we're gonna do. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, let's go on to Andre's question. Tell me, what does meaning of phrase getting the hang of it? Feel free to correct my question. So your question should be, what is the meaning of the phrase? So you want to say, what is the meaning of the phrase, quotation marks, or you want to say, tell me what getting the hang of it means. And then you want to put the verb to mean conjugated behind or after that. Okay. So those are the two forms that you should use if you want to ask what something means. So tell what is the meaning of, and then the thing, or what does the thing mean? So getting the hang of it means that you're getting used to something. It means that you are becoming accustomed to it. You're starting to understand how it works. So, for example, getting the hang of driving. Someone who is driving, they haven't been driving for a long time, and they start off, they're very nervous, and then they start to get the hang of it. They start to get used to it, start to get comfortable. That would be another way to explain it, is when you get comfortable doing something. So if you get the hang of driving, then you get comfortable driving, and you start to get a feel for what it is that you're doing. So that's a very good question, actually. Getting the hang of it is very common in my experience. Mixed conditional, nicely done, Vinny. Very nice. Good evening, Myron. Welcome back. Good to see you. Willie is getting the hang of this new live stream program. Kind of. I'm getting there. I wouldn't quite say I'm to the point where I'm getting the hang of it, but I'm almost there. I would say that I'm almost there. And apparently, my sister is not getting the hang of this new program because she's having problems connecting once again. So let's continue on with your questions. Let's see what else we can talk about. Tomorrow, I will be on Instagram. I will be live on Instagram with one of our partners in our course, who is helping us to get the word out about our basic course, online basic course live, where I'm teaching live, and then we practice with monitors. If you are interested, you're probably not interested, because if you're basic, you probably already left because this is not a basic live stream. But if you know of someone who is a basic learner and would like to participate, they can still get involved in our class. They can still get into our class. The first encounter will be, they'll have to watch recorded, and then the second and beyond, the other modules, they'll be able to watch live and be able to participate with us. But the first module, then they will have to watch the replay. But it's still possible. I think she's in her car because of her dogs. They didn't let her go. They didn't let her go live yesterday. Yes, that is correct. And she's back with the dogs, actually.
Yeah, sorry. I have to sit right next to my router or it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's okay. Glacé's back. So, yeah. So we were talking about the expression to get the hang of, what that means, getting the hang of something. How would you tell us? How would you describe getting the hang of something?
Like understanding and figuring out how something works. Getting the hang of something, it feels more normal than it does when you're learning it.
Good. Very good. I agree.
Can you maybe give me the list of questions you're going to ask?
Well, they're asking right now. I
know. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
That was a joke.
Yeah, it went right over my head. Right over my head. If I was able to do it, but I'm not. I don't remember. So remember, Glacé, so if you could give us kind of the context of the question or your statement when you ask, because a lot of times you respond to what we're saying, but by the time we get to your comment, we don't know exactly what we were talking about.
Yeah, there's so many comments.
There's so many comments.
Because they're so popular.
Hi.
Ooh,
good evening.
Professor.
Yeah, so there you go. So my sister thinks that you are calling me a university professor because professor doesn't exist in English outside of university professor. So that's why she was like, "Oh, something special, right?" Because she thinks
Oh, he's lying to his student.
I'm not lying to my students. I actually even told her that professor means
Oh, sorry.
a
I'm just plugging
university
myself.
professor. All right. So I didn't lie, just to make that clear.
Professor.
I was wondering, go or went. Yeah. So he was asking about, he thought you had, he said, I think she had went or something like that. So it should be gone. Chris. That's Glacie's friend, Chris. That's why they often have conversations with each other in the comments while we're, while we're doing. See, there you go.
Hello. Hi.
That was
She's
about the context.
apologizing.
Now I know it. I know what that's about because that wasn't too long ago. That was about the context. Willie or teacher, not both. Yeah. So the common thing here is to call someone, like my students. Most of my students call me Teacher Willie.
I saw that. Really cute.
Yeah. Yeah. See, guys, there you go. It's really cute. It's not something that is offensive. It's not something that's a problem, but it would be seen as really cute, something that would happen outside of the United States.
Mhm.
So what are your thoughts if someone were to call you teacher? Just say, "Hey, teacher." What are your thoughts about that?
So most of the younger grades in school, that's what kindergartners, so like 5 and 6 year olds, some kids just hang on to it and only call their teachers teacher, but it makes it seem like maybe they're younger, they act younger.
Okay, so it makes them sound younger. Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Which if you're in your 50s, then maybe you use it because you want to sound younger. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
But would you find it offensive if someone called you teacher?
No. I think it would be cute.
Yeah, there are some teachers in Brazil that teach that it is offensive, that it's an offensive term.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
that-
to be a teacher requires a lot of work. So it's almost like, yeah, I am your teacher. It's like a title.
Well, and the comparison is because in the United States where we use Mr., Mrs., Miss, or Ms., right?
Mhm,
So
yeah.
I think the comparison that some people do, or even some teachers in Brazil do, is they say, well, if you're not using Mr., Ms., Miss, or the other one, I forgot which ones I already said. Yeah, that one. If you're not using that, then you're being disrespectful, which in certain situations, that's true. But the way that I always explain it to my students is that that's in the United States. So there is a subculture in Brazil of ESL teaching and the whole, back and forth of the ESL classroom. And it has come to be where in classrooms, ESL classrooms in Brazil, people call their teacher or Teacher Willie or Teacher Jillian or whatever it is. So because of that subculture, which is not considered rude, when I am here and I'm teaching, or I'm teaching online and teaching Brazilian students, then I have no problem. I actually prefer that they call me teacher or Teacher Willie, as opposed to Mr. Wilson. It would just seem too formal because we're not in a formal classroom setting. Even at our school, we have 3 or 4 students, sometimes up to 7 students, and it's more of a laid back atmosphere. It's not a rigid, formal classroom like it is in the United States. So that's, and recently I heard for the first time that someone said it's an offensive term, and I couldn't disagree more about it being an offensive term.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm glad we're in agreement on that one.
We agree on something.
Yay. Yep. Hi. How was your day? So let's talk about your day.
It's been a day.
It's been a day.
It's been
a long day.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, it's been a long day. I think that's all we're going to go into.
That's all I'm going to get. He's reading something, people. That's why his face looks all scrunched up like that.
So Glacie just is saying that they call teachers by their name. and for her, it's strange to call someone by their last name, and that's why I don't. That's why I don't require my students to call someone by their last name.
Yeah.
Actually, something interesting. When I first came to Brazil, they call their doctors like Dr. John and Dr. Mark, and I always felt like, yeah, I always felt like it was a lack of respect, that it wasn't showing the respect that a doctor.
Yeah, it's just a culture thing.
Yeah, it's totally just a culture thing, and that's where the teacher, Willie, teacher, that kind of thing comes in. So my thought is that if you were in the United States and you did that, it would show a lack of respect. But if you're doing that in Brazil, where the culture is already that, it's already like that, then and teachers, a teacher that came from the United States and taught here would have to be sensitive to cultural differences.
Definitely,
as well.
yeah.
So.
And it really isn't offensive. I think it's adorable.
Yes. So there you go.
And I would rather be called by my first name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have such a common last name too. It's not like it's special.
Is it common in Brazil though?
No, but it's a first name. Actually, Wilson was here earlier. Well, there's a guy named Wilson who was here.
Cool.
Not professor. Yeah. Please don't call me professor, because then that does seem like I'm having you, unless you're going to say professor. If you say professor, like you do in Portuguese, because the problem here, Jillian, so just so you know, is professor is teacher in Portuguese. So it means teacher. There is no teacher, right? So like maestro in Spanish. They have maestro and they have professor. Well, in Portuguese, it's professor and professor universitário, or university teacher and teacher. So that's where a lot of the confusion comes, is in those terms. So people don't know when to call you professor or when to call you teacher or that kind of thing. So there we go. But please, so again, Christina, if you feel free to call me Willie. Don't call me professor. And if we're doing a live in English, then it's better not to use professor, because then like Jillian understood that you were calling me a university professor,
which isn't true.
Which isn't true. Basically, that's the problem.
No matter how badly you want to be.
I don't know. I don't want to go back to school. That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't.
Yes, professor.
Yes.
She's going to insist, I think. In Brazil, kids
stop calling you that.
Yes, this is something that bugs the crap out of me. In Brazil, kids usually call their teacher aunt.
Aunt or uncle?
Yeah, tia tio. Yeah.
Oh.
I actually, at one point, I told their teachers not to let the kids call them that, because I mean, why in an English school, why wouldn't they use teacher at least, when they're trying to learn English? And it's always bothered me that they use aunt and uncle. I remember the first time.
Because that's saved here for family that is your parents' siblings.
Right. So.
Your parents' siblings.
It's very, your parents' siblings? Your parents' siblings. Yeah.
Your aunts and uncles are your parents' siblings.
Yeah, that's right. I'm with it now. Yeah, and I remember the first time I was actually on my mission, I was kind of a jerk to the little kid that called me that. And I was like, I'm not your uncle. I don't even know you. But I knew what he was doing, but I was like trying to show him that I didn't want him to call me that.
You were just being a smart aleck.
I was being a smart aleck.
Aleck.
Yeah, I was. Smart aleck. Can you tell the good people of the channel, what smart aleck means?
Do they know the other version of it?
Probably not.
Okay. Smart aleck means that he's mouthing off and being sassy.
Okay. Yeah. Mouthing off is another one they probably don't know. I've never breached that.
Okay. Starting from scratch.
I can't remember. Well, sassy, we talked about last
sassy. Yeah.
You're sassy. Deborah's
sassy as well.
I am also very sassy. Yes. So smart aleck is someone that says something usually sarcastically. They are very, another word that we use for it is flippant. When they respond, they're like,
good word.
And you have to move your head like that if you're being sassy.
You have to make that face. Show them the face again. We can both do it.
We can. It must be genetic. I'm sure it's genetic. All right. I love when you speak English. Forget about Portuguese, Willie. That's going to make my daily life a little bit difficult, but I can try. You're going to be a professor from now on. That's right. Chris has decided that my name now is Professor. Like, it's not even Willie anymore. Now it's just Professor.
That's Wesley that's saying that.
I know, but Wesley's talking about when Chris was saying.
Yeah.
She was like, yes.
She's going to make everyone say it the wrong way.
True. They call them not ankles, uncle, right? So you're almost spelling ankle, even though it's a little bit wrong there. So can you tell us, Jillian, the difference between ankle and uncle in pronunciation and meaning?
Okay. Uncle is one of my parents' brothers. So that's a familiar term. And then ankle.
Is it familiar or familial? No, familial, that's Portuguese.
Familial. Better?
No. Is it familiar? Can you say familiar referring to family?
I meant it the other way, so sure. They are generally familiar.
Okay, sorry. So
okay,
I thought
uncle or ankle.
I thought you meant having to do with family when you said familiar.
Yes, and that's what I meant was how you said it.
But I don't know if that's Portuguese. That's the problem. I might have brought that from Portuguese.
You might have, but there's probably a term that's very similar, and it's not what I used.
Okay. Let's continue then. All right.
Ankle is a body part. It is the joint that connects the bottom of your leg to the top of your foot. Above your heel?
That makes sense. Yeah, above your heel. Part. Body part. Very nice.
So if you're calling your teacher ankle, that's probably not the best choice.
That might actually be offensive. As opposed to teacher, that might actually offend somebody if you call them ankle. Possibly. I don't know. It wouldn't offend me. We're getting in line here. Onde eu vim para? Where have I come to, or what have I come to? The person's asking. They're like, what in the heck? This is all English.
What is this place?
Hello, Isaac. How are you? Good to see you, Isaac.
Hi, Isaac.
I think I have a good pronunciation, but I'm feeling crazy when I practice my English alone. I talk with the wall. So that's one of the techniques that I talk about when you don't have someone to practice with.
Well,
awesome. talk to yourself. Actually, it's about narrating your day. As you go through your day, you talk to yourself about what you're doing in English. So he's starting to feel a little bit crazy. Remember, though, that pronunciation is uncountable, so we can't have a pronunciation. We have pronunciation. Also, in English, we don't have pronunciations. So that's something. It's also like information in English is also uncountable. So we don't have an information or informations like we do in Portuguese. We have just information. So those are two words with shun at the end that are both uncountable, that are often used as countables in Portuguese, that we need to be aware of that difference. Very good, though. Thank you for sharing. And
don't go crazy.
Yeah, as long as you know you're not crazy, let the other people think that you are. Who cares?
That's kind of fun.
Inglês, CC, hi, love, would, hardware, e falar English off. So the person is trying to speak English with us.
Yeah, I see that.
You got that?
I got it.
Okay, is Willie our teacher? Glacie's still trying to help. I talk to the walls too, Mine. Okay. But
see,
Wesley,
I mean, you're basically talking to each other.
No, but Wes is crazy. So that might not
the dog man.
The dog man is crazy, so that might not be an indicator of that it's a good thing to do. We're in the same boat.
Very good expression. Crazy. Is that used there as well?
Yes, it is. We do have that one in Portuguese. Nada melhor que uma aulinha de inglês. English quando bad
bait.
Yeah, I don't. It's a play on pronunciation in Portuguese. I'm going to have one of my. Either Vitor or Wes or somebody explain that to me. I don't understand what they're saying.
I understood the KKK.
Yes, it's funny. You understood that it was funny. Uncle Chiu, right? Brothers, relatives. Not brothers, relatives. It would be your parents.
So my mom or dad's brother would be uncle, their sister would be aunt or aunt or auntie.
Yes. I talk about that a lot. I always talk about how mom says aunt and we always give her a hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wesley, this is sad. It's sad that they talk to the walls. That's what he's talking about. Where is your dogs? Where are your dogs? Remember, dogs plural. Where are your dogs? Where are your dogs, by the way?
They're camping out upstairs with the door closed. So
they are shut in a room so that we have some quiet. That was a very well planned, a very good plan. No, my friend Glassy, teacher is here, not there, but I think when we learn English, we can do it like they speak there, Yeah, but once again, it's no matter what, it's not going to be professor, even if you're there or
unless you're teaching in college.
Unless you're teaching at a college or university. Uncles, ligação de alguma coisa do corpo humano. Ankles. It starts with an A and an N and a K, and you probably want to look up the how to spell it because it's completely wrong. Jesus. Nunca vou parar de aprender. I will never stop learning things in English. That's a good plan, actually.
Me either.
That's what I was going to say. Me either. I'm never going to. I hope I never stop learning things in English. I talked with a mirror, okay, because Thiago likes the way he looks. By the way, I got to call Thiago in. I'm going to go through these real fast so that I can call him in. Thoughts on dangling prepositions. What are your thoughts on dangling prepositions? Have you gotten to dangling prepositions yet? That's like saying, who did you talk to instead of to whom did you talk?
Oh.
Yeah, so
who did you talk to?
For me, in most situations, dangling prepositions and dangling participles are very, very widely used and are not a problem in spoken language and most of the time in written language either. So that's my take on it. But she actually hasn't gotten to that part yet. But it is super advanced. So it takes a few years.
Good job, Victor, for being super advanced.
No, he is super advanced. He's my student, and he's going to take the IELTS test, and he is super advanced. He's a teacher, actually. He's another teacher.
Very cool.
Yeah. Uncle Chio, ankle, tornozelo. Yep, that's right. Quando a bad bate, when sadness hits me. So they use bad to say sadness, and bate is like when it hits me, when the bad hits me, is basically what they're saying.
Okay, got it.
And so it was funny because they were putting an English word in the sentence where they used it in Portuguese, so it went way over my head, but it was actually a very good joke. It's where Achilles Achilles got shot in the heel, not in the ankle, actually.
Right.
So the heel is behind. Where am I? The heel is behind and the ankle's on the side, the joint, and I'm not even going to be able to get in frame. But anyway, that's where it is. Speaking about idioms, do you consider it is raining cats and dogs a common idiom nowadays? Good question. Do you use it frequently? A lot of teachers still teach this. Do you consider raining cats and dogs to be used nowadays?
I think it's an older phrase, like older than us phrase. So older people use it maybe still, but most people don't. But we all know what it means.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Everybody knows what it means, and almost nobody uses it. I use it sometimes, but that's because I'm an English nerd.
Because you're teaching English.
And I say dumb things. Well, but I don't teach people to say it. But there is a common phrase. It's expressions are so interesting. There's the way that they say raining cats and dogs is that it's raining pocket knives. I don't know why. So maybe Victor.
Can someone explain why?
Can you guys explain why you say it's raining pocket knives? Because we find that very interesting. But so when someone asks me, how do you say that? Then I say, well, we have this old expression, and then, I tell them the expression, but I actually say it once in a while because I've heard it so much in this area, I've heard it so much in this area of English learning that it's actually, I've kind of assimilated it. I say it more than I ever used to.
Yeah. More than a regular person would.
More than a normal person. Yes. You can I look like a dummy. You want to say, but you don't.
No, you don't. And you guys really need to stop apologizing for stuff that isn't really something to apologize for.
Yes, I'm with you. Stop apologizing. You don't need to apologize. Is my sentence correct? Can you use the verb shoot when it comes to arrows?
I would say yes. It depends on your sentence structure. It was used correctly, I think. But
yeah,
I mean,
but I think what he's asking is because shoot, I don't think in Portuguese you use the same word as shoot like a gun. You know what I mean? I think that's what he's asking. If you can use the verb shoot when you talk about arrows, and you can shoot an arrow. Sorry, I got to go now. Good night. And you have a beautiful, talkative, and outgoing sister. Nice to meet you. Catch you later. Catch you later, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. Have a good night.
And she's going to call you. She's going to call you Professor from now on. By the way,
Professor Chris. See you later.
No, she's going to call you Professor Jillian.
I get it.
So where does your sister live? She looks friendly, not like friendly, unless friendly is somebody's name. It's so nice to meet her. So let's go through, because we haven't talked about today. Where do you live?
I live in Utah.
The state of Utah?
What?
The state, right? They need to know it's the state
of Utah, near Salt Lake City, but I'm from Washington State.
What? Represent.
I'm gonna try to do something really cool. Watch. Oh, I can't do it.
That was amazing. That was truly amazing. I've never been. Oh, there you go. Washington.
That was really hard for my fingers to bend that way.
I noticed it didn't really work very well, actually.
Shut up.
So she lives in near Salt Lake City, Utah. It's in the western United States. It's what we call the Intermountain West. It's next to Idaho and Nevada.
Below Idaho,
to the east of Nevada, to the west of Colorado,
to the south of Arizona-ish,
to the north of Arizona-ish.
Yes.
Yeah, because Mexico is south of
Where
Arizona.
I have no idea.
I'm not sure. We're lying. She's actually in the next room. She's not even in the United States.
Jokes on you.
Jokes on you. Here we go. What else do we have here? Like if we say put yourself together instead calm down, does it sound offensive? It's forceful, right? It depends to whom you say it. It's a little bit forceful. But we would say pull yourself together, not put yourself together. We would say pull like pushar. So pull yourself together, man. Sometimes in the movies, it's after you slap somebody and you're like, pull yourself together. So that could be offensive if you slap them and then say pull yourself together. So.
I mean, you could do it without the slap. That would probably
you could do it without the slap, but I mean, what's the point if you're not going to slap them? Maybe because when it rains heavily, the raindrops hurt. Brazilians are rather creative. That makes sense.
The raindrops hurt, so it's like knives.
It's like, but small knives, not big knives. It's not like a machete. Right. It's not raining machete.
Yeah, it's not a.
That's doable. That's doable.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Did you want to finish that sentence at some point? Maybe we can come back to that sentence and you can finish it later on.
Nah. It's gone.
Cool. That makes sense, Vitor. Could you help me with the pronunciation of these words? Go for it, sis.
Whole, roll.
It's because the R
is
the R is very problematic in Portuguese because it's a huss sound.
Right. So the R is very much pronounced. And did he need to know what the meanings of each one was, or just the pronunciation?
Just pronunciation. So whole, and roll. And can you do this for me, Jillian? Can you say porta?
Porta.
No, porta.
Porta.
There you go. So that's the R that is in the interior, the countryside of São Paulo and in Goiânia, and that's the R that we have in English. Yeah. So there are very few, but there are a couple of accents in Brazilian Portuguese that have that R, like we say. They say porta, where some say porta, like up here in the north and the northeast, they say porta. In the South, they say more porta, the more of the harder R. So there you go. Last one. Sorry, I got some problems asking questions about the structure. That's all right. That's what we're here for. All right. You want to come in, Thiago? I told you I would invite you in. Let's do it. I'm going to put the link in the group, in the chat. So if not only Thiago, if you would like to join us in our conversation, then feel free to come in. I would prefer if you could get on video, but there's the link for Thiago and anybody that wants to join us. Let me see how I put multiple people in here. You're tiny again.
I like being tiny.
All right. Well, I don't want to be all big. That's too. That's a little bit better. Let's see, what else do we have here? Some people roll their R's too. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Wes, that's like gauchos, right? Gauchos roll their R's a little bit more. Let's see if we get joined by anyone. Otherwise, either way, we'll be here for about, well, either 5 more minutes or 4 more minutes or 9 more minutes, depending if someone joins us.
Right.
Thiago, you on your way?
Let's answer some questions while we wait.
Well, yeah, the reason that I'm doing this is because we ran out of questions. So if
We
you
ran
would
out of
like to
questions, people.
tell us a story. Tell us a story. Tell us about your book. What's your book about? Can you tell us that?
Once upon a time, there was.
Oh no, we're not gonna. Oh no. Do you want to talk about what your book's about, or would you rather not?
No, I would rather
Okay.
not. Let's
Okay.
talk about what I just started to say.
So, what is it about? Do you plan to become an online teacher? Like, do you see this as being your future career, like something that you could, even after the pandemic, that you would like to continue, or is it something as a side hustle?
I hope. Oh, hey, there's a friend.
Thiago,
Hello.
this is Thiago.
Hello.
Go ahead and
What was
answer the
the
question.
question?
The question was, do you see yourself continuing
right.
in this career after the pandemic?
Yes, I do. But my main goal is to focus on writing.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. So like a side hustle.
Well, I mean, that's how I'll make money because I'm not gonna make it writing books.
Okay.
Nobody does.
So the writing will be the side hustle and the teaching will be
Yeah, there you go.
and the pet sitting, of course. Don't forget the pet sitting.
Yeah.
All right,
Pet
Thiago,
sitting.
let's do it, man. What have you got? What are your questions? What are your burning desires? What do you really want to know about my sister, or about life in the US, or whatever you want? Go for it.
Oh, like I got a lot of thoughts about the US, but about a lot of questions. But
Let's hear it.
right now, I just
Right on
forget.
I forgot all the questions.
Put on the
That happens.
spot.
That definitely happens. Can you make up some kind of question, or did you just want everybody to see you and then you're going to leave? Is that how it's going to go? Or
No, like one thing I want to ask you is like, I have a, how can I say, a wish to travel to USA one day, and I want to know, like, about the English, the level of the English. How can like, wait a moment, I'm trying to think.
it's okay. Take your time.
Like, what about my level? What do I need to know about the English, and then I can travel to USA?
Which one are you asking?
Go ahead.
You
Go
had-
ahead. You're the guest. I'm here all the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're not special anymore.
He can always ask me. And
Uh,
I'm going to interrupt you anyway. So
I know, every time. So I think your level is very good. I keep saying that you need to have confidence. So I can see that when you're not sure about a word, you stop and you think and you say, and I mean, that's
Yeah.
normal. We all do that. But you need to
Uh.
have confidence that you do know the word and you're going to say the word. just say the word. If it's wrong, somebody will help you out. That's just, I mean, we all had to learn English at some point in our lives.
Very good. I agree 100%. I think you already can travel with your English the way it is right now. You could easily travel and have no problems. Just specific things that you want to work on, I would say, would be more in your area. Like you're going to go into the IT area, then I would just say specify and focus your learning in that area, because you're already to the point. And obviously there are some what I like to call edges in your English that you can round off a little bit, and like Jillian was saying, with the pausing and that kind of stuff, which is 100% normal. But yeah, so I would just, the main thing that I would say you need to do is practice. Just practice having conversations like this, getting in, you use this every time I've invited people, you've come in and you've practiced a little bit, and every little bit will help. And that'll help a lot, because I mean, if you can do this, if you can talk in front of 9 whole people on the internet and like 150 that are going to see it, and 150 people that are going to see it afterwards, then you won't have any problem having a one-on-one conversation in English. And so that's, I think you're definitely on the right track, but I wouldn't worry too much about where your English is right now. You're definitely well on your way.
Yeah, I think it's because my vocabulary is not enough to keep a conversation, I think. And
you're doing it right now.
Yeah, but I think I have to learn more of the vocabulary. For example, I always brought here a new expression because I just heard in a series in our TV show. And I like to know. I like to know more about these expressions.
Yeah, definitely keep doing it.
Yeah, I think you speak really well, and then once you're immersed in the United States, where nobody speaks Portuguese,
well. Okay, let's just do an addendum to that. In the West, nobody speaks Portuguese, but in Florida and in the East, there are tons of people who speak. Just to make that clear. Sorry.
All right. Let's be specific. If you come to Utah,
yeah. If you come to the West,
most people will not recognize your language, won't understand. So you will be speaking English more, which is just practice, and so you will continue to learn, but even faster. So I think where you are at, even if you don't know certain words or you don't think you can, I think you can work your way around with the words you do know, because you've already done it here and you're doing great.
Yeah, that's a key for anyone that finds themselves in a situation where they don't feel like they have enough vocabulary. It's what I call talking around the point, which means you have a point you want to get to. You don't know the vocabulary for that word, so you have to make your way. You have to use the vocabulary that you have to go around that point and make it so that the person understands that point without you saying exactly what it is that you would like to say, but you don't have the word to say.
Yep.
So very good. Let's continue on. While you're thinking of another question, if you want, Thiago, then we'll continue on. Is British English easier than American English? However, everyone likes American English. Could you answer me why about it? Can you answer why that is? So his question is, British English, there's a basic consensus among Brazilian students of English that British English is easier than American English, but most people prefer American English. Do you have any thoughts on that, Jillian? And then maybe we'll ask Thiago what he thinks about it.
Well, I've never tried to learn. What was the version they
British
said?
English? British English.
So I've never tried to learn that, so I have no idea if it's harder or easier. I love their accents, so I mean,
well, okay,
that's the difference, right? I don't.
Yeah, and there's some vocabulary differences. The main thing is that I agree with the consensus that British English is easier because they have better diction, they enunciate better in most cases, especially the London BBC accent is one that I think is also more beautiful. I think it's the most beautiful English accent or accent in any English language, any English dialect. I mean, is the BBC London accent, and so it is. I do believe it is easier to understand. However, what most people have contact with is Hollywood English because of movies, because of series, because of those things. So the more that you hear it, the more you become used to it. And then all of a sudden you hear a British accent and it sounds different than what you're used to. Even if it's something that is subconscious, it's still something that is not what you're normally hearing. And I think that has something to do with it. Also, American English is just more used in international business, international relations, those kinds of things. They tend to use, unless you're only talking about the European Union, then it's more British English. But in my experience, American English is more used in international forums. So I think those two things together. But I think the thing that has the biggest effect on that is the Hollywoodization of English, and how, because Netflix now has taken, I don't know how many countries they're in, but they're very big in Brazil, thank God, so that we have something to watch. But because of that, then they have a few British shows, they have some in other languages that are dubbed or whatever, but so I think that has the biggest effect is what they hear from Hollywood. Do you have any thoughts, Thiago, on that?
No, I don't think so.
Do you disagree with what I said, or you don't have any thoughts on it?
No, I don't have any thoughts.
Okay. Continuing on, which is okay if you disagree. I would just mute you if you did. Some people in the state of São Paulo also roll their R's, especially the older generation. I don't know why. That's true. I agree with that. You all are tiny now. Yes, now we're all tiny. I'll join next.
Woohoo, Victor!
Come, bring versus take. Go is a nice discussion topic. Yeah, so come, bring, take,
and go.
I think take, and go. I think it's all
come, close. Bring.
We're going to have to cut this a little bit short, so we can do this next time. We can talk about this. Vitor, if you can come back next time, we'll have you in to the discussion. But we're going to have to end here at 9:30. Let's see what else we've got. I like when I'm asking questions here because one of my biggest problem is asking questions. Willie, did you have problems asking questions in Portuguese in the beginning of your learning process? Yes. But it's easier to ask questions in Portuguese because in most cases you just change the intonation. So but yes, I had problems saying everything at first because I didn't want to make mistakes. I don't like making mistakes, and so I just would prefer
the perfectionist.
If I didn't know for sure what I was saying, then I wouldn't say anything. So yeah, I had problems with everything. But yeah, I do think I had less problems than you probably do because it's easier to ask a question in Portuguese. I don't have to worry so much about like present perfect constructions or anything like that in a question. It happens with me when I want to speak English on a live. I forget the words. I don't know why. So the same kind of thing that happened to Thiago. The reason why I'm learning English is because I'm planning to be a Portuguese and English teacher, but I would like to teach English more than Portuguese, so I have to be prepared. Thanks for helping us. Remember that after prepositions, you use the gerund. So thanks for helping us, not for help us. I have a question for Thiago. What do you usually do to learn English? Very good. What do you usually do to learn English, Thiago?
I usually, like how I told you guys, I really like to watch series. And I like, for example, when I see an expression, when I see a word that I don't know, I like to get this word. Can I say to get?
To look it up maybe, or to learn it, or
understand it?
Yes, I try to understand. I like to search on Google, and I like to put this word like in my vocabulary, in my phrases. Like I try to build one phrase with this word, and that is it. Basically, the most thing that I do is search some words in series.
The
'Cause-
thing that you want to say the thing that I do the most. The thing
Yeah.
that I do the most.
The thing that I do the most.
There you go. Okay, very good. I think that's a good plan. Which accent is easier to understand, New Zealander or British? You probably haven't heard the New Zealander accent much, but that's okay. Definitely British. I have heard the
Yeah.
New Zealand accent,
Mhm.
and it is definitely, for an American,
I
it's
love
definitely.
it. It's one of my favorites, but I don't understand half of it.
There you go. There you go. That's too bad. Maybe next time then. Yes. Sorry about
Yes.
that. But we are needing to end. Okay. Thank you very much, Thiago. Thanks for coming back. I know you'll be back again. And I appreciate all your support on these lives and all of your comments and all of the expressions that you bring from TV series to help other people. I appreciate it.
I
See you later.
appreciate it. Thank
See you
you.
around. No problem. It's good to know. I don't remember what's good to know. What's good to know. Oh, the
Oh, the
British
accent.
and New
Yeah.
Zealand. Yeah. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for us. Thank you very much for being back for the Jilly Willy show. And I would like to do a Jilly Willy show every Monday. What are you up for it?
Yeah, unless I have somebody dropping off or picking up animals.
Yeah,
That'll
so
work.
we're going to tentatively, that's a good word, tentatively schedule next Monday. Let's see, today's the 29th. I don't know what the date is, but next Monday we'll be back. I will be live next Monday. It depends on if Jillian is sitting on pets or if she it depends on if Jillian is pet sitting, if she'll be able to join us. If she joins us, it will be in English. If she doesn't, it will be in Portuguese with a tip. What else do we have? Good night. Double D is still here. Wow, good. Thanks.
Wow,
Double D.
David, you haven't said anything.
That's right. Double D. He's probably playing with his dogs because he's got several dogs at his place. See you, Wes. See you guys. Thank you very much again, Jillian. It's very nice to have you as a guest on our show, and we're looking forward to having you back.
Am I really a guest?
The Jilly Willy segment is a guest on my show.
I gotcha. Okay,
but
I'm just gonna make my own show then.
I was actually after we did our thing last night, guys, we were on for an hour and 45 minutes last night. It didn't seem like it, but after that I was like, we should make our own channel, just the Jilly Willy channel, and just talk and just do stuff like that.
Because everyone wants to hear our conversations.
Everybody was asking for you to come back, so it sounds like it. See you, Isaac. See you, Double D. Thanks, guys. Until next time. I'm Teacher Willie. This is Teacher Jillian, and we would like you to keep studying and don't give up. Good night.